myself Bhumika Chawla from GM Education, and today I'm here to help you out with English core for CBSE Class 12 board exams. Friends, as we all know that throughout the year we have been William Wordsworth or Shakespeare, like that we don't need to study English, and at the end we'll be doing it thoroughly, right? Because throughout the year we have been either from the science stream or the commerce, and we have to study our major subjects, and we don't give the priority to our English subject. And at the end of the time, we feel like how to score good, because English is something that adds to your percentage and gets you good college. So at this time, you don't need to panic, because we are here with some tips which can help you out so that you can not only score good but also write in a very precise and effective manner. So friends, as we all know, we came through the statements after the exams. The English exam is quite lengthy, quite difficult, or you could say that many of the people say that we weren't able to express ourselves in a very good manner over there. But don't need to worry about that, because what we people lag over there is the time management. And today we are here with the time management prep strategies which you have to follow while attempting your question paper. As we all know that English question paper carries a weightage of 100 marks. These 100 marks are further divided in 3 sections, that is, your section A, section B, and at last your section C. Your section A carries a weightage of 30 marks. Your section B carries a weightage of 30 marks, and the last section 40 marks. Moving on to the number of questions you will be getting within these sections are question 1, 2 and 3 in section A, where question 1 carries a weightage of 12 marks, question 2 carries a weightage of 10 marks, and question 3 carries a weightage of 8 marks. Where you will get the question 1 and 2 as passages, and question 3 is of notebook. For section B, you will be getting question 4, question 5, question 6 and question 7, where the fourth question will be of 4 marks, fifth question will be of 6 marks, and the last 2 questions will be of 10 marks each. Moving on to the section C with the major weightage, here you will be getting question 8, question 9, question 10, 11, 12 and at last 13. Where the question 4 will carry a weightage of 4 marks, it will include RTC. Question 9 will carry a weightage of 12 marks, which is further divided into 4 parts. Each question carries a weightage of 3 marks, where 4 questions will be given to you, where 6 questions will be provided to you, and you have to attempt any 4. And the last, the 4 questions of the last carries a weightage of 6 marks each, where the first 2 questions are most probably from your vistas, and the last 2 questions are from your novel. Okay, so this is your crux of the question paper which you will be getting at the time. And so the next the question comes to our mind is how to start a question paper, because as we all know, apart from those 3 hours, we get 15 minutes extra for reading the question paper. At that time, what we people do through the paper 2 hours, so that we will get the questions, we must get a rough glimpse of the question paper. But what we have to do is, we must not go through the complete question paper. Rather than we must focus on completing our question paper on time. And how we can do that thing is, first of all, as soon as you get your question paper, I must suggest you that for the first 5 minutes, first of all, always carry a watch while giving your English exam. For the first 5 minutes, make a target that not from the beginning, but you have to start reading your question paper from the last. So, moving from the section C, you will be reading the questions. Why I suggest people for reading the question paper from the last is that you people are very much aware of the literature section, as you have gone through the literature throughout, whether thoroughly or through the summarized part. But we are all having some idea of the literature, and this boosts up ourselves that we are somewhat aware of the question paper which we have copied. So, reading the question paper from the last will gives us a glimpse of the question paper and the questions which we are aware about. This will boost up our morale, and then we'll move for the further section. After reading the first section after reading section C within a span of 2 minutes, we'll next move to section B. Section B is something which is quite confusing, I could say, because this is something which makes mind numb and blank, like what to write. It's a question, it carries a question of 10 marks each. What we'll be able to do with that? So at that time, we must not panic. What we have to do, just go through the question. That's it. Even if we are getting some thoughts at that time or not, we don't have to focus on that point. We have to just go through the question, that yes, we have understood the question. After that, we are left with the 10 first minutes. So, in this, as we all know, that we are having one question of 12 marks, that is question 1. So, we must target at this question number 1 within this 10 minutes. How? We people usually aim at targeting the questions of the passages, but rather for the effective marks, for the effective answers, I must suggest you that you people must go through the passage thoroughly first of all. So, within these 10 left minutes, you must go for question number 1 and go through the passage thoroughly. Because at this stage in the class 12, we have studied enough that we can complete reading the passage within a span of 10 minutes very easily. Go through the passage thoroughly. After that, go through the questions. While going through the questions, and if you have read the passage thoroughly, we'll find that we are able to get the answers of major number of questions very easily without even looking at the question again. And if there are left any of the questions, what we'll do is we'll again go through the passage, because once we have gone through the passage thoroughly, we'll get to know that whether rest of the questions are belonging to which paragraph. In that way, what we'll be doing, we'll be going through the specific paragraph, searching for the answers, and then doing that. So as soon as you get the question paper, you get the answer sheet after the completion of 15 minutes. What you have to do, as you people are not supposed to write on the question paper, make sure you people don't write anything on the question paper, right? So as soon as you get the answer sheet, what you have to do, you have to flip your answer sheet at the back. Why? This helps you out to memorize the points which you have written. Because being the first board exam, you are quite nervous even, and you haven't learned how to manage time. So this is the strategy by which you can learn and you can focus with your answers throughout the end. So as soon as you complete question 1 of section A, you must go to the last page, and if you are having some answers which you feel like you'll forget, you have to write them down and start doing it. As soon as again you have completed this thing, move on to section C. Moving on to section C, the literature part, here the first question, which is of 8 marks for 1 marks each, where 4 questions carry 1 marks each, must not exceed a space limit of 1 or 2 lines, right? The second question of 12 marks, where 4 questions are given of each, your answer must not exceed a line limit of 5 to 6. That is, your word limit must not exceed 80 words, right? Because at that time, the examiner not only want you to write quantitative, they want a qualitative answer. So for the qualitative answer, what you have to do, you have to thoroughly read your chapters throughout the year, and if you haven't done it throughout the year and you feel like reading the summary of the chapters at the last will, friends, I tell you, it's not an option. This will only give you a basic glimpse of the chapter, not the main crux of the chapter. So I suggest you to focus on each and every chapter thoroughly. Moreover, focusing on the poems which are provided you at the back of the flamingo must be done in a very good manner. Next, moving on to the next question, next two questions, that is 10 and 11, which carry 6 marks each, are very much scoring. Why? Because they don't actually ask you about the depth of the question. What they ask you about is, they just give you the basic thing. First of all, the 10th question is of value based. The value based questions must be answered, because as we all are having this much tendency that we can answer the questions in a very much moral based answers. So this question must be answered in a very methodical manner, and in this you can answer this question either in points, but rather I would suggest, rather answering in points, start answering in paragraphs. Small paragraphs would create a good impact rather than writing the points or writing a whole single paragraph. For the next 3 questions, first of all, the 11th question is from Vistas, where you have to go through the chapter thoroughly, and then only you'll be able to answer the question, the long question, in a very precise, because the question must not only exceed the page limit, but it must also contain the good content too. For the last 2 questions, which are from the novel, that is Your Invisible Man or the other one. These questions, friends, you must not worry about that you have to go the whole novel or the each and every single word of the novel. What you have to focus on, the main characters of the novel, and moreover the holistic crux of the novel. From the word holistic, I mean to explain you that the general context of the novel, basic story. If you are aware about the novel, you will be able to answer these questions very easily. Like, how was the encounter of Mrs. Hall with Griffin? What kind of person was Mr. Griffin? How he came to an end? How was his encounter with Mr. Kim? Who according to you was the most annoying person? What was the character sketch of Mr. Cuss, etc., etc., etc. So these are the basic questions which you will be able to answer if you are just aware of the basic glimpse of the novel. So you don't have to worry about the last 2 questions. You just have to be accurate and very much good with your words, so that you can impress the examiner and you can score good. One more thing, friends, you have to keep in mind, that your section C, you must aim at completing this within a span of 50 minutes. Why? Because we people have to target to complete our paper before time, so that we get ample of time for revision and for correction. So friends, we must keep in mind that these questions, with this much is very small, so 1 mark for each answer must be given. For this question, 2 to 3 minutes to each answer, and for these questions, not more than 5 to 7 minutes for each answer must be provided. So you can complete the whole paper within a span of 50 minutes. Moving on to the next section, that is section C, section B. The most toughest part which people feel like at the time of examination, because this is something which is mind-numbing. Why mind-numbing I'm saying for this section B? Because friends, in this you have to give your own thoughts. Apart from the method, apart from the pattern which you have to follow, you have to give your own thoughts. You have to express yourself. And as the first board exam, we people are quite nervous. We people are quite, you could say, not able to express ourselves. Our mind gets numb and we are not able to answer. We are not able to say what we want to. There are many a times we'll be having something in our mind and we'll be so much nervous at that time. Our hands must be shivering like in such a manner that we'll not be able to write the thing which we want to. So what we have to do with this section B is read the question thoroughly. And again, the basic method, with your answer sheet, at the last, write the question number, and moving to the section, first question of section B, that is question 4. As soon as you read the question, some of the thoughts will come to your mind. Jot them. Jot them. Why jot them? Jotting them will give you an impact, because many a time, as I told you, we people are nervous enough that we forget even our thoughts. We people aren't able to express our thoughts. So jotting those points will help you out when you will be fairing out your answers. Because when you feel like you just forgot what you had thought earlier, you can just flip the answer sheet, you can go through that, and then you can write. So the same with 5th question, the same with 6th and 7th. Moreover, here is a key crux which you must follow while attempting section B. That is, friends, suppose this is the width of your answer sheet you get. What you have to follow is, you have to draw a margin around each and every writing section you do in such a manner. Why? It will not only give a neat impact to his writing skills, but also gives an illusionary thought to the examiner that you are well contented with your thoughts, you are aware of what you are writing, because whenever we are clear with our thoughts, we give the answer in a precise, in a good and in a presentable manner. And if we are not, we'll be doing the cuttings, we'll be crumbling, our hands will be shivering, and we'll not be able to write in a very good manner. If you are presenting your answer in a good manner, it creates an impact that you are well contented with your thoughts, you are very confident, and you are knowing, you know very well what you are writing. So this way, you have to make margin around each and every writing section and attempt the questions. But what if these questions don't come to your mind? Then switch to the section A and at last again calm down and then go through this. But you don't have to waste half an hour focusing on the thing that whether to start this thing or not. You just have to give 5 minutes to each and every question, 5 and every 10 minutes to all the questions, so that you could go through the questions and get a point in mind that whether you are getting the thoughts or not. If you are getting the thoughts, start doing it. If you are not getting the thoughts, keep it aside. Move to section A. Okay? And at last, again come to question B and then stay calm, stay focused, breathe deep and then start doing this. Moving on to the section A, as we have already consumed our time by doing first question of section A, at the time of reading, we are having quite ample of time right now. So what? For the question number 1, again we'll be providing it with 5 minutes, and at this time we'll be revising our answers and then we'll write. So within a span of 7 to 8 minutes, we have to complete this question right now. Next, moving on to the second question, for 10 marks, what we have to do? We have to provide this question with 15 minutes. Again, the 10-minute reading. The 10-minute reading, because this passage is quite small as compared to the passage number 1. So, you can complete the reading of this passage within a span of 7 minutes. After this, you can go through the questions. If you are not finding the question, again read the passage. And after again reading the passage, you will be getting the answers in a very good manner. And then, within targeting the span of 15 minutes, you have to complete this question. Last question of section A, that is question number 3. And the scoring question, as you are very much aware, it's note making. Note making is briefing something, and this thing, my friends, start doing from the day 1. As today I have taught you the glimpse of how to attempt the paper. Start practicing note making, because this is something which is time consuming if you are not practiced enough. But if you are practiced enough, you can complete this thing within a span of 10 minutes. And how? You have to be very methodical with the passage. You have to be very methodical with the process you are writing, with the boxes, with the summary, with the notes, with the abbreviations. You have to focus each and everything in mind, and that you will be able to do if you are practiced. Giving this passage the time period of 10 minutes, what you have to do is, within a span of 4 to 5 minutes, you have to read the passage. As you are not supposed to write anything on the question paper, just get a pencil, and if you get a word which you have to write down, get a dot in below it. Getting a dot below it will not harm you, will not even get any questions in the mind of the examiner, in the invigilator who is standing at that point. Pinpoint those important words which you are getting at that time and then prepare the notes. Okay, what if I say you are confused enough that how to attempt this thing? We'll be discussing this later on. We can just say that you can exceed this time to 20 minutes. But 20 is the last time that you have to complete this thing. Okay, so again, moving with this thing, we came to know that we have completed that 15 minutes to this, 15 to this and 20 to this. We are able to complete our section A within a span of 15 minutes again. So our complete target is completed within 1 hour 40 minutes. Right, now again we are left with an ample of time. Within this ample of time, after this thing, we have to complete this section B. As we have jotted down some of the points, again focusing with a calm and deep breath on each and every question, we can go through the question, we can think upon it, and after thinking upon it, we can start writing with a very good format. We have to keep in mind that our format must be clear, that the concept of format must be clear for each and every writing section. For example, for the job application, for the advertisement, for the notice, for the articles, for the speech, etc., for the reports. So friends, what you have to do, you have to be very clear with your thoughts and then start. Keeping in mind for each and everything, you have to be with introduction, the body content, and then the conclusion. I guess almost these three things are to be followed in each and every part of section B. So targeting these all things, again you are just having 50 minutes to complete your paper. After completing each of these sections within a span of 50 minutes. Why I am saying 50 minutes, friends? I am including your wasting time too. Because being the first paper, we will be nervous enough and we will be wasting a bit of time looking here and there. So that's why I am giving you the 15 minutes. But if you feel like you will not be wasting any time, you must complete this target within a span of 40 minutes. Then you are left at last with your precious 30 minutes, which usually people who don't follow the strategy don't get. And as we have got this opportunity to consume these 30 minutes, what we'll be doing is we'll be going to the whole answer sheet thoroughly. Moreover, we'll rub the answers at the last. Moreover, we'll rub the hints which you have written at the last, and after that we'll be going through the question answer sheet thoroughly. Moving from the section C, we'll be revising our answers. While revising, what you have to do, you have to carry a black pen with you, and as soon as you find a specific word or a specific main content which you have to focus in your answer. For example, you have written an answer of 2 lines, and from these 2 lines you have specific words which you want your examiner to notice upon, so that he could see that you are well contented with your thoughts and you are the facts which were given in the chapter. You have to underline those words in this way. For each and every question you have to follow this thing, because how it helps you, it gives examiner again an impact that the person has completed the paper on time. Moreover, the person is aware of the thoughts and the person is clear with the content. That's why the person is underlining the content and asking me to focus upon those specific words, because there are many times the examiner content. For example, the 6 marks question, you will be filling a whole page for that, and reading the whole page is sometimes too hectic or tiring. And that time, if you have underlined specific words, the examiner will directly focus upon those lines and will be happy very much that you are giving those specific points, and then the happy examiner will be giving you the happy marks. The same with section A, not actually with the section A, but for the section A only with the passage part. In the note making, you don't have to underline your notes, because in these notes you have already done the note making. You don't have to underline those. For the summary part of the note making, you can do this thing, but not very much, to only a bit of extent. Moving on to the section B. Here, for the last 2 questions, I would suggest you have to definitely focus upon this thing and you have to do this. Got it? So this way, in a precise and an accurate and a time managed pattern, you have to follow while attempting your board exam, and I assure you, your paper will not only be completed in time, but you will be scoring good enough this time. So this was enough, but if you want some more videos regarding the tips for the writing sections, subscribe our channel and stay tuned.